to June iPhone.
Oh man, that winter time is kicking in, bro. Holy fuck. Ah, good morning, good morning.
Media.
That was much needed. Jeez. So what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, guys. Oh, so I finished the drawing last night. Still have a couple of more drawings I need to work on. Need to communicate with a lot of people today. Got some emails to send out. Really want to talk to somebody, and a couple of people I need to talk to over the phone is, so I can communicate a little bit better than the email. And got a lot of opportunities I need to try to take advantage of over the next couple of days. So I stay up early, stay grinding, try to stay grounded.
Beyond.
I feel like there's so much stuff. I need a legit secretary. Still working on this commission right here. It's getting close though. It's getting there. My fucking rug in here is all bunched up. That shit gets annoying.
She did that so fast. Wait, she's done? The look you want? At the pace you want.
Hey Google, play Sephora contouring video. Hey Google, pause.
That's help at a glance with Google Home Hub.
Bitch, what's up? Shit, I've been busy with a lot of shit too. We gotta find that time to slow down and get in our own groove, you know? Yo, Dilsa, what's up? So you finally got your prize. That's awesome, yo. Painting made it all the way to Australia, safe and sound. Hope you enjoy it. It was one of my favorite pieces. When I told my girlfriend which painting I was gonna give away, she was like, "No, not that one." I was like, "Yeah, it's a good painting. People should like that shit, yeah." What's up, bro? I'm really just getting started in the studio. I had to get some laundry started first before I came in here. Kind of straighten up around the house a little bit. Now I get to sit back, relax, and chill with my peoples like, hey. What's up, guys? Shit, chilling. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I got some good mood, got some good vegetables, got my peoples chilling with me. Yo, my days always start so good, yo. What's up? You know what I'm saying? My days always start out nice. So yeah, I'm still working on this piece right here, but it's coming along real nicely. Got to get that commission work in there. So this is not a project for myself. This is a paid commission, so it may look a little bit different from what you're normally used to seeing me do. And that's the one thing you can tell my commissions, because my commissions be like other shit. Y'all know the kind of stuff I normally stick to. But this isn't a bad photograph. It's not gonna be a bad painting. You know, it's just looking hot, son. And then I like commissions because I already know, like, for one, I'm getting paid for it, but for two, it already has a home. Like, somebody is waiting for it. Somebody is waiting to take care of it, to appreciate it.
Your Arizona adventure awaits. Find your purpose at GCU.
Arizona.
Earn your degree in fluid in 4 years.
Come on. And you know, once it reaches its destination, you know, the client is going to show it off to all of his friends and family, and probably on social media. So I love commissions. Some people hate doing commissions. I don't mind doing a commission. So I have two more commissions that are drawings. One of them is a sketch, and the other one is basically a sketch too, but it's for a tattoo design. So I'll be working on those over the next couple of days. But after I stream today, I have to start writing up my little bio statement essay for this art grant that I'm applying for. And hopefully I'll be able to win this art grant. And use it to just further my goals, and probably plan an event for myself, like legit do my own art event. You know what I'm saying? Just to boost my recognition and get my name out there some more. So this grant sounds like a pretty good thing, but it is a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? They not playing. They giving you $12,000. They want to know every little thing you plan on doing with this $12,000. And so I got to come up with a whole list of stuff to submit for this application, so that they honestly know that I'm like legit. Yeah, I'm not just some passerby, fly by night motherfucker who's gonna come in and go out. Like this art, I think this is my calling. This is my purpose. I'm gonna make this my life goal, is just to continue to create art, yo. You know what I'm saying? To inspire people to constantly put these images down that I see are lacking. You know, the images of black people that aren't there. And there's tons of positive images that we need, more and more and more and more positive images of black people that needs to be shown, especially to the youth. So I'll always have something to paint. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never run out of ideas. And this is my life's goal. And hopefully this grant society will see that I'm definitely passionate about this, and I'm trying to make a career out of this, and they helped me out with this art grant for the visual arts. So that should be pretty cool. What up, yo? Yeah, thanks, bro. But I mean, the competition is stiff. There's, college, art college grads and everybody else are always going out for this grant. And they only give it once a year, and so there's always a lot of people going for it. Actually, one of the people who I asked to write a letter of recommendation for me, she has won the grant herself. She's won it before, but she said it took her 5 years, and she had to submit over and over and over and over, and she made it to the finals twice. I think, there is a committee that narrows it down to a select few, and then they take that selection and they pick the one person who seems that they would benefit the most at this time from that grant. And so yeah, she said it took her 5 times, and this is my first time applying, so I know I know technically my skills are up to par to stand against almost anyone, but beyond that, I think my concept and my vision for my flagship art series is definitely something stable, something that is lacking in a community, which definitely needs to be there, and it's motivational and inspirational. So I think just the concept of my flagship series, in the fact that I'm not self-taught, but I have had some success in the art world, and I'm not a career artist, but I'm not far from a career artist. And I think those aspects of me already having grinded it out for a couple of years and kind of learning the ins and outs, and just like, yo, I want to push this to the max, I just need some help. And I think that all those different aspects of what I'm trying to do may make my situation look better than other applicants. So, but if I don't receive it, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And everything has to be done by the 15th of December. It has to be in and submitted by the 15th of December. So there's not a lot of time. And so if I don't get it, I won't be shocked or sad, like, oh wow, I just know, like, I'll just submit again next year, and I'll submit again the following year, and each time I submit, my body of work will grow, my awards and my accolades will have grown, and my knowledge and my networking connections will have grown, and my chances will just get better over time, especially once they see me submit again. It's like, oh, this dude didn't make it, he's back again. Yes, I'm back. Oh, he's back again. Yes, I'm back. And so it's always that due diligence and persistence that'll get you anywhere, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That goddamn motherfuckers get so, upset and downhearted when they get told no, like, so what? They said no, like, that's not the end of the world. It's like some people just can't take no, and it's like, dude, that all that mean is you gotta go a little bit harder. You gotta make them say yeah. Oh, you told me no? Okay, we'll see about this. We shall. You gonna tell me yeah, one way or the other way. You gonna tell me yeah, sooner or later. man. Yo, I'm on YouTube Live right now. If you want to go to the link in my bio, yo, you can come over to the YouTube channel. Check this out live over here. Yo. I was blowing out an endo. Thought I saw a ghost in your window. Grandma's bones were still hanging in the window. So I looked out, man, and blew out the smoke and ooh. Thought it was a ghost, thought it was a ghost, thought it was a ghost while I'm blowing on the endo, checking them in your windows. Grandma's bone is still hanging from the window. Oh, yeah, so I peeked out while I blew the smoke. Yeah, I thought I saw a ghost. I thought I saw a ghost, man. I thought I saw a ghost. Blowing on the endo, checking them in your windows. Grandma's bone is still hanging from the windows. Oh, hanging in the grandma's bones is still hanging in the woods. I read it wrong. My bad. Oh, please just skip the commercial. Jesus. Yeah, I'm getting crazy information right now, some other stuff. Yeah, my homies are doing some crazy maneuvering for me right now. I may be a part of like all different kind of stuff. Yo, there's an adults outreach program that's looking for like mentorship and creatives classes and stuff like that too. So, man, there might be all kind of stuff I can do. And there's this gallery, Anthony Bernelli Fine Arts. I gotta submit some art. Grandma's bones is still hanging in the woods. I gotta submit some art to these guys. In Binghamton, New York. What is going on with all this stuff, yo? Good morning, guys. I was gonna go on Facebook Live real quick, but I'm trying to see if I can. Mm, Bernelli. B-R-U-N. There he goes. Hmm. Oh, my guys. Hey, good morning. What's up, MV? Yo, somebody told me to submit to this gallery, Anthony Bernelli Fine Arts Gallery in Binghamton, New York. So I'm trying to send them a message. Hey guys, some friends of mine from the Alpha Gallery in Scranton said that your space may be an awesome place for me to show some of my work. Mm, okay, got a little message typed out. Now I just need to, since this is Facebook, I'll also tag the link to my Instagram. Balling. Y'all almost have 4,000 followers on Instagram, all organic, guys. I keep thinking about like buying followers. I thought about that shit like twice, because some people I see, they be having like 29,000 followers and shit. I'm like, bitch, your shit ain't that good. It's not that good. How you got so many followers? You must be paid for some of that. You must be paid for 29,000. Really? For this? Really? Oh my Jesus. But I don't want to cheat. Like on my subscribers to the YouTube channel, on my Instagram followers, Facebook followers, all that stuff is organic. I don't want to cheat on that stuff. Oh, he got 30,000 followers, and then like 28,000 of them be paid for. Leg day, son. Leg day. Calf raises. Reverse squat. You work your legs? Yeah, I work my legs. You don't skip leg day. Don't skip leg day, because if you do, I can just push you. Oh, I can push you real hard, and you probably fall over. Your legs weak. Ain't got no balance. Even with New Balances on, I still push you over. All I gotta do is just shove you, and you will topple, because your legs ain't strong. Don't skip leg day. Else you get pushed over. Goddamn shame. That's what's up. I give you something to listen to. Keep you occupied while you type and stuff. Write motherfuckers up. Alright, I need the tablet for a picture, so I gotta turn this off. Did you guys have an update on your YouTube app? I had to update my app this morning. Alright, tablet, you're going to now be used for photos. Because I need to see this. What? Thanks, I'll put it down and hit the button. Is that rain? It's wind. That's why I keep looking out there, man. I need to go somewhere today, but it keeps sounding like it's gonna rain. Man, I don't want to get my hair wet. Come on, guys. I don't want to go nowhere in the rain.
Connected to iPhone.
But I think I can take a deposit from my Patreon account. I've had three people to subscribe and donate to my Patreon last month, and so I'm going to use those donations to go buy a larger sketch pad, and I want toned paper. It's kind of expensive, but I have people donating, and that's what it's for. I can go get some supplies. Thank you guys so much. You're just awesome. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea. So right now, this is the largest pad I have, and it's 9 by 12. This is 9 by 12, but I want to get like at least a 14 by 18 and get cold. Is this cold press? Acid free, denim, fine surface. I don't think this is cold press. This is just like regular. But I want the paper is basically twice as thick as this. It's like 2 sheets of this. It's real thick. It's a little bit coarse, a little bit more coarse than this, and it's gray. And so the paper itself has a tone. It's gray paper. But those books are a couple bucks. And I want to get a better, not a better, the mechanical pencil I use is actually pretty good. But I want a finer tip. So this is a 0.5. So they have 0.9, 0.7, 0.5, and 0.3. I don't have a 0.3 mechanical pencil, and I think I'm going to invest in a 0.3 pencil, a tone larger pad, and probably a set of drawing pencils, and a good eraser, and a good sharpener. Like there's sandpaper sharpeners that you can use to shape your lead. I might get one of those and just get a little kit, because I can do pretty decent drawings on these. But I can imagine, like, if I already had like some tone paper, something a little bit bigger. I was doing some exercises earlier, knowing that I'm going to have to start instructing people. So there's some really challenging exercises I was working on, and I failed miserably on drawing exercises, because I've been doing everything one way for so long that it's like, okay, I can't teach anybody exactly what I know, so let me take it back to the basics, and so I can be able to help people develop certain skills and understanding. And it's like, so how can I teach somebody how I'm doing this, and why I do it this way? So I basically have to like go over the fundamentals myself. And so I tried some drawing exercises, and I wasn't happy. It's like, dang, that's that old saying, like, boy, I done forgot more than you ever know. And I literally forgot some stuff, and it's like, oh yeah. And like certain techniques that I do but don't exactly know like the name of it and things like that. So I gotta take myself back to school on art now, which is easy. Like I say, art and education. It doesn't matter if we're studying science, religion, history, sociology, psychology, or art, like literally art. And that's something I haven't done in a long time, but I've been studying artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've read most of that Norman Rockwell book that I have, and I've watched the documentary on him, and I've read 2 Salvador Dali books, and I've read Fahamu Peku's books. So I have been studying artists, but now I have to like go study the fundamentals all over again. and practice at some easier things so I can teach people easier stuff. It's just pretty cool, you know.
And E. If you guys are unfamiliar with this is the most affordable watch that features Android Wear. And they've got two different models. The detail around the bezel on this one also comes in white and black. Now to charge this guy up, you have this portable charge cable. It just slides on there like that. Boom. Charge it. So these guys raised over $3 million on Kickstarter and have recently began shipping this model out. It's got enhanced GPS tracking, step counter, heart rate monitor, and so on. And since it runs Android Wear, of course, you have the entire universe of Android Wear apps that you can load on here. It's also a water-resistant IP67. This right here, if Jack can pick that up, that is the heart rate sensor. So if you're looking for an affordable but still high
bunch
quality
of my Eddie Bauer socks. It's cold. I don't pull out.
Check out TicWatch.
I was wearing some yo, my cousin live. I was wearing some of my DC socks for the past couple of days, but they're footies. Now, shit, like I said, I've been throwing on my long socks. I even got my damn tights on under this bitch again this morning. Shit, I got long socks, underpants, the gray. The blue and gray Eddie Bauers. What it do? Like he going to work. I know, right? Hey, RSP Stanley. I ain't gonna lie, shit. I grew up on motherfucking X-Men. Hey, yo, you ever heard why Stan Lee came up with mutants? Like, yo, I swear to God, yo, he was like, Stan Lee was like, shit, I started running out of ideas. It's like, man, but so many ways you can change somebody, from gamma rays or solar blast or radiated spiders. Is like, shit, I just started saying it was born like that. And then you got mutants. I was like, damn, yo, Bozy, what it does? I say, shit, I ran out of ideas. I just said, hey, it was born. It was genetic. It was born like that. But how he got those powers? He was born that way. He a mutant. It's a mutation. That's why he lived a good long life, yo. It just seemed like he was that dude, just smiling, happy, and like like you just say, just like a nice dude, yo. I'm a comic book artist, yo, man. Look, I'm rich and famous off of drawing and coming up with cool ass fucking superheroes and crazy ass villains. Who can't be happy with their life? And millions, like he touched millions, billions of people, yo. Everybody know fucking Stan Lee. Everybody, he that's a legacy, yo. He was a living legend for the majority of his life. He was like the Hugh Hefner of comic books. Like, how you a legend most of your life? You've been a legend forever, Stan Lee. He was the shit. You know what I'm saying? And but like at the same time, like you say, he was just like cool as hell. Man, y'all wanted to make some movies out of this stuff? No problem, man. Just let me have like a little teeny role in it. Can I just drive the bus or something? You know, he always wanted to be a part of it. He was like one of the coolest people ever, yo. You know what I'm saying? Not no motherfucking no rock star or something crazy. Just a comic book dude, yo. That motherfucking comic book dude. Like you said, I can imagine like just meeting him how he was with complete strangers. You know what I'm saying? Because he made all of that for us. You know what I'm saying? To empower ourselves, to make us, when people try to make us feel different or weird, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know. The whole universe he created is crazy. Marvel X-Men. 'Alright, I need to start painting. Yo, word, yo. Yo, X-Men? Bro, I can't miss that. "95 years old, yo. Stan he almost made it to 100, yo." He almost made it to 100. But then at the same time, like, I don't know, I haven't seen him a lot lately on TV. I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, but it seemed like almost up until the end, he was still like getting around, and you never seen him like on a cane or a walker or dragging an oxygen tank or no shit like that. Motherfucker just seemed like he just was pretty strong all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? Do everything for himself. Shit. Some 95-year-old motherfucker, they already be bedridden since they've been 80 something in an old folks home and got Alzheimer's and all kind of stuff at 90, 95 years old. But he seemed good up to the end. And what they say just took him out was like natural causes. I didn't really look into that. Let me see. The Life of Stan Lee.
How Stan Lee Changed the World. The eponymous face of Marvel Comics passed away on November 12, 2018, but the result of his life's work and legacy is far from over. Stan Lee, who was born in 1922 as Stanley Martin Lieber, grew...
1922, bro. This motherfucker born during the Great Depression. That motherfucker been old, bro. Damn, he had a long-ass life. I know 95, yeah, you say it, he was 95 years old, but this man born in 1922? Man, this motherfucker seen segregation, lynches, and all that shit probably. Yo, he was born a long time before goddamn desegregation in 65. I mean, well, yeah. Well, no, you had the voters' right that, yeah, in 65 and all that shit in the 60s. So 20, 22, 32, 42, 50, he was already about 40-something years old when that was going on. Yeah, that shit crazy. 1922 he was born. Let's listen to this.
Passed away on November 12, 2018, but the result of his life's work and legacy is far from over. Stan Lee, who was born in 1922 as Stanley Martin Lieber, grew up in New York City during the Great Depression. When he was 17, he landed a job as an assistant for a publishing company in the comic book department. His first piece of work as a comic book writer was as a text filler in 1941 when he was only 19 on an issue of Captain America. He started using the pen name Stan Lee for this, so he could use his real name for a literary piece he wanted to write in the future. Stan rose through the ranks to become the editor-in-chief, publisher, and finally chairman of Timely Publications, which is now known as Marvel Comics, in 1961. During this, so he could use his real name.
What was it called? Timely Publications? Before? Yo, this motherfucker did this his whole life. This was his literally at 19? But that's your whole, you still a kid at 19. He did this for his, this the only thing he ever knew. That's why he was so good at it. That's passion. That ain't nothing but, in at 19, like he was already like filling in for Captain America. How old is Captain America then? Damn, that must be an old ass comic. Yo, if it was already around when Stan Lee was 19. That's wow. He did it for his entire life.
For literary pieces he wanted to write in the future. Stan rose through the ranks to become the editor-in-chief, publisher, and finally chairman of Timely Publications, which is now known as Marvel Comics, in 1961. During this time, the comic book mogul wasn't sure what he wanted to do with his career. He said to his wife, "I don't think I'm getting anywhere. I think I'd like to quit." He attributes the best piece of advice he's ever gotten to her when she told him, "Why not write one book the way you like to?" He did just that, and he created the Fantastic Four that same year. I tried to make the characters different in the sense that they had real emotions emotions and problems. After the success of the series, he was able to come up with more superheroes, which resulted in the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. Fast forward several decades and dozens of comic series later, Stan Lee helped bring on the cinematic superhero boom with the debut of X-Men in 2000, followed soon after with the release of Spider-Man in 2002, both series created by Marvel. These films opened the door for Stan's dreams to become a reality, creating a high demand for the superhero genre. Actors like Robert Downey Jr. were given new fame, and it escalated stars like Chris Evans, Tom Hiddleston, and Chris Pratt into becoming A-listers. The rest was history, giving us a new era of a seemingly never-ending continuation of major Hollywood hits, with every Avengers film landing a spot within the top 10 highest-grossing films of all time, with Black Panther also earning a spot. Stan's fanboys and girls can expect to see him on the silver screen a few more times as he shot cameos for Captain Marvel and Avengers 4.
Thirsty for more celeb news? Make sure you subscribe to the E! News YouTube channel so you can stay informed.
Yeah, and that's crazy. He did it for his entire life, and then at the end of his, close to the end, is when he was booming the most. It just like things just kept getting better and better and better and better and better.
If you're a superhero fan, you know Stan Lee was an absolute legend, responsible for some of the best characters of all time. Bringing his beloved characters to the big screen has been a game changer and has introduced new people to the magic of Marvel. It also brought many actors together over the years, and today we'll be sharing their words in light of Stan Lee's passing. Before we share these reactions, make sure to click on the subscribe button, then ring that gray bell to get access to the latest videos from CBR. Stan Lee had been involved with comic books since 1939, a time when DC Comics reigned supreme. He was going head-to-head against immensely popular heroes such as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, but Lee had an interesting vision for the future of heroes. When his creations started showing up on the big screen, Lee remained a palpable presence, and we look forward to seeing his signature cameos in each new movie. We had heard of his health struggles for quite some time, but we're still devastated to learn that he had passed away on November 12, 2018, at the age of 95. Let's take a look at his legacy and the many memories he left behind. The first Iron Man movie is an incredibly important part of the MCU. Actor Robert Downey Jr. was a risky choice to portray Tony Stark, but now it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role. In response to Lee's passing, he shared a sweet snap from a movie set and said, "I owe it all to you. Rest in peace, Stan." Robert Downey Jr. was just one of the Avengers to offer his condolences in light of Stan Lee's passing. Chris Evans, who portrays Captain America, tweeted, "There will never be another Stan Lee. For decades, he provided both young and old with adventure, escape, comfort, confidence, inspiration, strength, friendship, and joy. He exuded love and kindness and will leave an indelible mark on so many lives." Excelsior. We don't think we could have phrased it better ourselves. Ardent Marvel fans will recognize Excelsior as Stan Lee's catchphrase. It's a Latin word often translated to ever upward or still higher. He started using it when writing a column in the 1960s. Other columnists would frequently copy his catchphrases, so Stan Lee wanted one which was uniquely his. Tom Holland's Spider-Man may be a new addition to the Avengers, but the actor is a huge Stan Lee fan. He shared a photo of the two on Instagram with the caption, "How many millions of us are indebted to this guy? None more so than me." The father of Marvel has made so many people incredibly happy. What a life and what a thing to have achieved. Rest in peace, Stan. Mark Ruffalo tweeted a statement which resonated with many fans who have always found there to be something special about Stan Lee's characters. "You've made the world a better place through the power of modern technology and your love of this messy business of being human. You let us be extra human, superhuman even. I am deeply honored to have been a small part in the Stan Lee constellation." Chris Hemsworth shared a photo showing that Stan Lee was of course capable of wielding the mighty weapon Mjolnir with the caption, "Thank you for the incredible adventures your stories took all of us on. My love and support goes out to all of your friends and family." Scarlett Johansson made a statement to NBC News about Lee's passing, saying, "The galaxy just gained another dog star," and added that she was thankful every day to be a part of Stan's universe. He was a legendary visionary and a true artist. Many members of the Guardians of the Galaxy also spoke up to offer their condolences and reflect on their time in the MCU. Chris Pratt, who portrays Star-Lord, said, "Thank you for everything, Stan Lee. What a life so well lived. I consider myself extraordinarily lucky to have gotten to meet you and to have played in the world that you created." Zoe Saldana, known for her role as Gamora, said, "Today we lost one of the greats. Stan Lee, you are an inspiration and superhero to us all. Thank you for contributing so much and giving us all something to aspire to." Although Bucky Barnes has been an enemy to our heroes at times, actor actor Sebastian Stan posted, "I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you, great legend. You will be missed." Samuel L. Jackson, who plays S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury, sent a touching tweet in which he thanked Lee for the escape from this world and great joy inhabiting the ones you created. "You made so many believe in the good, the heroic, the villainous, the exciting. Most of all, you were giving and gracious to us all." Although the 2005 Fantastic Four movie didn't receive the same critical acclaim as other movies starring Marvel characters, the Fantastic Four was one of Stan Lee's first creations. Actress Jessica Alba, who played Sue Storm, took to Instagram to thank Stan Lee for his kindness. She added that it was a huge honor to be part of his universe and that playing Sue Storm was so meaningful as a young actress and made a huge impact on her. Many people who worked behind the scenes also had kind things to say about Lee, including President of Marvel Studios Kevin Feige, who stated, "No one has had more of an impact on my career and what we do at Marvel Studios than Stan Lee. Stan leaves an extraordinary legacy that will outlive us all. Our thoughts are with his daughter, his family, and his millions of fans." Joss Whedon, who directed The Avengers and Age of Ultron, posted that Stan Lee created a universe where if a character was beloved enough, they could never really die. Now that's thinking ahead. Thanks for so much of my life. You'll never not be in it. Considering how much Whedon loves killing off beloved characters, you can tell he learned a lot from Stan Lee. Legendary Star Wars actor Mark Hamill paid tribute to a fellow cultural icon by tweeting, "His contribution to pop culture was revolutionary and cannot be overstated. He was everything you hoped he would be and more. I loved this man and will never stop missing him. They say you should never meet a childhood idol. They're wrong." What will you remember most about Stan Lee's legacy? We know there's a lot to choose from, but share your thoughts with us in the comments section and then click subscribe to get more great Marvel videos from CBR. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Excelsior.
Let's not do that.
Sometimes there's that show. It's the voice of a generation and the next. It's the mirror with which our whole culture checks itself for pimples. The Simpsons was that show for a very long time. With its finger on the pulse of our society, it's no surprise The Simpsons has accurately predicted the future many times. Before we begin, subscribe to CBR and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are the ways The Simpsons predicted the future.
I don't know if I've seen this one, but I've seen another compilation of The Simpsons predicting the future. Bro, and the shit is fucking freaky as hell. How many times it happened. Like, super crazy. It's like 15 or 20 times. And like, this is gonna happen. And it happened. Like, this is gonna happen. And it happened like the exact way. And it's like, what the fuck, Simpsons? I think that's some other, I don't know. I really don't know.
Tiger attack. Wild animals that rip other animals to shreds can be, maybe, unpredictable? Who would have thunk that keeping a tiger captive and messing with it on stage to entertain a bunch of drunk gamblers would eventually go wrong? Apparently, The Simpsons figured that one out a decade before it happened in real life. In Season 5, Episode 10, entitled Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling, that's exactly what transpires. In that 1993 episode, the city government of Springfield decides to legalize gambling. That, of course, turns that week's episode into an allegory about Las Vegas. And watch what happens. Mr. Burns opens a casino where two German magicians named Gunter and Ernst perform a routine that spoofs the famous Siegfried and Roy show from Las Vegas. The main attraction? A tiger on a unicycle. In the episode, Gunter and Ernst are predictably mauled by their giant cat captive. Well, the same thing happened to the real Siegfried and Roy a decade later in 2003. Roy was paralyzed when a real tiger attacked his real body, putting an end to the duo's showbiz career. That's gotta hurt. It's the kind of obvious told you so moment that the real world never anticipates, but The Simpsons could see it coming with the focused eye of the tiger. No, we're not singing that song. Do that on your own time.
We're watching the Nobel Prize announcements live from Stockholm.
Oh, the Nobel.
Nobel Prize winner. Meet Bengt Holmström. He's a Finnish economist who won the Nobel Prize in 2016. He's best known for trying to understand what's called the principal-agent problem. And it's a problem you might be familiar with. It's when people with power, known as agents, do things that impact people without power, the principals. If there are agents running around out there, it can be dangerous to the principal, the one without the power. Well, The Simpsons is a show that makes fun of people with the power that make dumb decisions that impact everyone. So it's no surprise that in 2010, The Simpsons sort of predicted Holmström's win. In season Season 22, Episode 1, Elementary School Musical, Lisa bets with Martin, Milhouse, and Database on who will win the Nobel Prize in Economics. Guess who's listed in that betting pool as one of Martin's little cards? None other than Bengt Holmstrom. Except Martin actually circles Jagdish Bhagwati as his pick. But the fact that the writers of that episode know who Bengt Holmstrom was is pretty incredible. The financial crisis of 2008 was only 2 years old when that episode came out, so being aware of economics, trying to understand how it happened, makes sense for The Simpsons.
It's not you, Milhouse. I just don't plan to ever get married.
Smartwatches. This one is a bit of a stretch, since plenty of sci-fi films, books, and TV shows have predicted the smartwatch. Dick Tracy, The Jetsons, and 1998 Lost in Space all had smartwatches in them. It's kind of an obvious device to predict if you're trying to write about the future, but need to draw on stuff you already know, like the watch. But only The Simpsons could predict how banal and disappointing new gadgets like the smartwatch could be. That's not to say they're not helpful and amazing when it comes to some stuff, but predictably, The Simpsons episode that foresaw smartwatches almost 2 decades before their time depicts them as not working as advertised. The episode in question is episode 19 of season 6, called Lisa's Wedding. In this 1995 episode, Lisa is transported 15 years into the future after visiting a fortune teller at the local Renaissance fair. In the future, everyone has smartwatches. Lisa's future fiancé tries to propose marriage to her through her new smartwatch, but the message gets cut off. So he has to go to plan B and summons a cow wearing a sign that says, "Marry me." In serious sci-fi settings, the predicted future technology always works. But if you're The Simpsons, your job is to remind the audience how disappointing even the best new gadgets can sometimes be.
But now, I would like to know if you are as incorruptible as they say.
FIFA corruption scandal. FIFA is the governing body of the international sport of soccer, or football, if you're from anywhere else besides the country where The Simpsons is produced, and Australia. If you don't already know, FIFA is a seriously corrupt organization. In 2015, 14 of the FIFA officials were arrested on corruption charges by the U.S. Justice Department. Because that's just what happens when Uncle Sam catches you calling it football and not soccer. No, they were seriously corrupt and were accused of racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering. Apparently, they were willing to take bribes from any country in return for influencing where the next World Cup would take place. Since the World Cup is often financially bad for the host country, that makes it even worse. And in 2014, Nike supposedly paid $40 million in bribes to become the only sportswear company to equip the players at the tournament. The probe into FIFA corruption began in 2015, but The Simpsons predicted the result a year early in 2014. In episode 16 of season 25, called You Don't Have to Live Like a Referee, the season did more than just predict the outcome of the FIFA investigation. They also predicted that Germany would beat Brazil in that year's World Cup, which they totally did.
Oh, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
NSA spying. The Simpsons first aired in 1989, but it wasn't until 2007 that The Simpsons movie finally came out. In the film, Lake Springfield is horribly polluted as usual, but it gets worse when Homer dumps a whole bunch of pig manure into the water. The fumes from the lake get so bad that President Arnold Schwarzenegger quarantines the whole town under a futuristic biodome. Fun fact, Biodome is actually a 1996 movie starring Pauly Shore. It sucks. Don't watch it. The Springfield residents eventually escape the dome, but Marge and the kids are later captured because a conversation of theirs was recorded by none other than the NSA. The NSA stands for National Security Agency. They focus on signal intelligence, the gathering of intel by intercepting electronic signals like email, phone calls, and internet traffic. After the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the global intelligence community basically took the gloves off and decided to record everything. That didn't mean they listened to everyone's conversations, but they certainly recorded them to listen to later. The NSA was at the center of this newfound intel aggression. In 2013, Edward Snowden blew the lid on the full extent of the NSA's surveillance program. We won't go into all the details because we don't have time. Point is, once again, The Simpsons called it years before.
Think of things that people need, but which don't exist yet.
You mean like an electric blanket mobile?
The Higgs boson. The Higgs boson is a special kind of subatomic particle. It's also called the God particle. Why? Well, until 2012, it was the missing piece in the particle physics.
The moment has come to take our rightful place.
Toolkit. Oh, we're getting all smarty pants up in CBR today. Quantum physics basically explains all the forces in the universe, except gravity, since we use Einstein's theory of relativity for that one. The interactions between all the different particles are used by physicists to understand the underlying forces that determine how the universe works on a fundamental level. You still with us? All right. Don't ask us to go into details. It's way too complicated. Point is, for a long time, none of the predictions about how the universe worked matched the experiment results physicists got from using particle accelerators to break pick particles apart. They didn't understand how mass worked because they couldn't find the particle that gave the other particles mass. They called the missing particle the Higgs boson, after Peter Higgs, the physicist who predicted its existence in the 60s. But guess who else predicted the Higgs boson? Homer Simpson in the 1998 episode, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. At one point, we see Homer standing in front of a blackboard with an equation that describes the mass of the Higgs boson. According to Dr. Simon Singh, that equation is very close to the real results physicists got in 2012. Not bad for America's dumbest dad.
Hello, I'd like to vote for president, governor, and anything that will take money away from our parks and libraries.
Faulty voting machines. America's first encounter with faulty voting machines happened in November 2000. That's when George W. Bush, a Republican, ran against the Democrat Al Gore. That night it wasn't clear who had won because of problems with voting machines in Florida. People had trouble understanding the voting card layout, and the hole puncher that was supposed to mark who you're voting for didn't quite work, leading to the famous Hanging Chad controversy. The vote was so close that Florida law demanded a recount. Ultimately, the Supreme Court got involved and, well, gave the presidency to Bush. This seriously undermined his popularity before the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Since then, American states have been working hard to replace old voting machines with electronic ones. But because of the 2000 election, many still worry that their vote will be tampered with, and that even electronic voting machines can be hacked. This actually happened in 2012 when video footage showed a Pennsylvania voting machine switching a vote from Barack Obama to Mitt Romney. As you can probably guess, The Simpsons predicted this one. In the 2008 episode Treehouse of Horror XIX, Homer tries to vote for Barack Obama, but his vote keeps getting switched to John McCain. Of course, we now know that the best way to throw an election is to manipulate social media algorithms. Miss Hanging Chads yet?
Hey, Doc, take a memo on your Newton.
Autocorrect. Ever tried to text someone a message like Grandma is in the garage, only to realize too late that you just wrote Grandma is in the grave? Or how often have you had your favorite 4-letter word changed to duck? That's autocorrect for you. Thing is, autocorrects on a smartphone could be a lot worse. Actually, there was once a time when it was worse. The Simpsons had something to say about it in 1994. Back then, Apple released a personal digital assistant called Newton. A PDA was like an iPod with no music that only takes notes. It came with a stylus, so no finger mashing on a keyboard, and the autocorrect wasn't very good. In the 1994 episode Lisa on Ice, the Springfield Elementary School meets for an all-school assembly. During the proceedings, the bully Kearney asks his partner in crime Dolph to take a memo to beat up Martin on his Newton. He tries, but it autocorrects to eat up Martha. Fast forward to the age of the smartphone. Apple engineer Nitin Ganatra told Fast Company that this episode compelled his team to really make sure they made the iPhone keyboard as good as it could be. On his team, Eat Up Martha became a shorthand for failing to get the keyboard to work on an acceptable level. The cultural impact of The Simpsons is pretty darn deep.
Now, Lisa, there's only one last thing you...
The moment has come to take our...
You have to do to be a little monster.
I'll do anything but sing.
Lady Gaga's halftime show. One of the greatest Super Bowl halftime shows in history was the 2017 performance by Lady Gaga. Sure, there have been some great performances in recent memory. Who can forget the left shark from Katy Perry's 2015 performance? Still, it's hard to beat an act that involves a pop star descending from the top of the stadium dome on a bunch of wires. The nerd in you probably thought Spider-Gwen had come to life. Of course, The Simpsons predicted it almost 5 years before. In the 2012 episode Lisa Goes Gaga, Lisa is voted the most unpopular student in school. She tries to change everyone's attitude by ghostwriting self-serving messages online. But Bart exposes her and she's even more unpopular than ever. Meanwhile, Lady Gaga visits Springfield and receives a psychic message that Lisa needs help. After initially rejecting Gaga's help, Lisa eventually sings a duet with Gaga at a concert. Lo and behold, Lady Gaga is wearing an almost carbon copy of her outfit from the 2017 Super Bowl.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
President Donald Trump. Okay, at CBR, we try to avoid wading into political controversy, though that's hard when it comes to The Simpsons. But let's be honest, deep in your heart, you knew America would one day elect the personification of reality TV as president. You just didn't know who it would be before 2016. Love him or hate him, that's exactly what Trump is. Trump has always been a joke on late-night TV and shows like The Simpsons since he first gained fame in the 80s. But it was in the year 2000 that The Simpsons actually predicted what was then unthinkable, President Donald Trump. It was episode 17 of season 11, called Bart to the Future. Bart gets transported into, yeah, you guessed it, the future, and Lisa is president. And what's the major challenge of her administration? The country is broke because of the previous administration of Trump. If only that were the worst of it in real life. The Trump era is fraud unlike any other in recent history. The writer and voice of this video is honestly struggling to keep the full extent of his partisan feelings out of what should be a fun internet video. So all we'll say is that The Simpsons really underestimated how crazy this one would be.
Chinese fleet is advancing. Just build another wall.
Yes, in the ocean, loser.
There you have it. Can you think of any other predictions The Simpsons have gotten right over the years? Are there any we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.
Ay caramba! The Simpsons is the second longest running scripted primetime series in the United States. Matt Groening's animated sitcom first aired way back in 1988 and has become one of the most popular shows in the world. In 2007, The Simpsons movie hit theaters around the world and was met with universal critical acclaim. And it grossed $527 million worldwide to boot.
Money.
Hey, watch it, Chief.
It's a satirical depiction of American working class life, but it's also impressively capable of delivering searing social commentary and has truly become a global cultural touchstone.
Oh yeah, I'm a superstar.
Every time you watch it, you're bombarded with Easter eggs and references that aren't always easy to catch. In this video, we'll run you through 25 of them that you probably missed.
Now let's do this thing.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of Screen Rant's great new videos. Let's start off with a big one spread over a number of episodes. Throughout the series, a number of intermittent clips of Rainier Wolfcastle's character McBain pop up when the Simpsons are watching TV. As it turns out, you can actually piece them all together to form an entire McBain movie, complete with a structured narrative.
The film is just me in front of a brick wall for an hour and a half. It cost $80 million.
How do you sleep at night?
In the show's original opening credits, when Maggie was swiped on the supermarket's cash register, the till displayed $847.63. This amount wasn't random, and actually came from a survey that said $847.63 was the average cost per month of raising a baby in the United States.
Nummy, nummy, num. Huh?
Speaking of the opening credits, the man who composed the theme music that plays over them is Danny Elfman. Danny's name is hidden on a storefront in those opening credits, just as his theme begins to play. In a streetcar named Marge, Maggie was placed in a daycare at the Ayn Rand School for Tots. When Homer picked her up from there, after she and the other Tots had regained their confiscated pass, in a streetcar named composed the theme music that plays over them is
Ayn Rand. She wrote Atlas Shrugged. Yo, Crown Boys, what's up?
Danny Elfman. Danny's name is hidden on a storefront in those opening credits, just as his theme begins to play. In a streetcar named Marge, Maggie was placed in a daycare at the Ayn Rand School for Tots. When Homer picked her up from there, after she and the other Tots had regained their confiscated pacifiers, there was an eerie recreation of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. 2 cars in every garage and 3 eyes on every fish saw Mr. Burns attempting to be elected as governor. When he delivered his campaign speech, it was in front of a massive black and white poster emblazoned with his face. Said poster was taken straight from Citizen Kane.
Wow. Is your boss governor yet?
Not yet, son, not yet.
In Lisa the
I think Citizen Kane was nominated the best film of all times, the best movie of all times. Like some movie, I don't know, it's like old as shit from the like 30s or something. I've never seen that movie though. Has anybody ever seen the movie Citizen Kane? I think it's about a reporter or something like that. I may actually have to watch that movie.
Beauty Queen, The Simpsons' eldest daughter was sworn in as the new Miss Springfield. The framing and tone of the shot rather eerily echoed a famous photograph of Lyndon B. Johnson being sworn in as president after the assassination of JFK. Duffless saw Lisa attempting to determine if Bart was dumber than a hamster. When he reached for 2 electrically charged cupcakes, the sequence was animated frame for frame to follow Alex DeLarge's realization that he could no longer enjoy sex and violence in A Clockwork Orange.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
On a number of occasions throughout the years, the number A113 has been used as the inmate and mugshot numbers for the likes of Krusty, Sideshow Bob, and Bart. This wasn't random, as the number refers to a room used by animation students at the California Institute of the Arts. It has also appeared in several other animated shows and a number of Disney Pixar movies. The front saw Grandpa Simpson taking all the credit for Bart and Lisa's ability to come up with kick-ass itchy and scratchy ideas. At the ceremony, just before Grandpa won a writing award, none other than The Simpsons creator Matt Groening could be seen laughing when the clip of the itchy and scratchy episode was played. The chalkboard gag in Dead Pudding Society saw Bart writing "I am not a 32-year-old woman" over and over again. This of course made reference to the fact that Bart is voiced by a woman, Nancy Cartwright, who at the time was 32. Cartwright is now 60 years old, so this Easter egg is now pretty much an antique. In Lisa on Ice, there were two men sat behind Homer in the ice hockey crowd. They were none other than Chief Wiggum's colleagues Lou and Eddie, but they were almost unrecognizable out of their police uniforms.
Wow!
They were none other than Chief Wiggum's colleagues Lou and Eddie, but they were almost unrecognizable out of their police uniforms.
Wow! Can I see your club?
It's called a baton, son.
Oh, what's it for?
We club people with it.
In the I Am Furious episode, when Bart's comic book Angry Dad became a success, an online company decided to make an animated version of the stories. In a very cool meta reference, Homer's real-life voice actor Dan Castellaneta auditioned for the role of the character inspired by the man he voices.
Woohoo! When do I get paid?
In 2012.
No!
Bart vs. Australia saw Bart make a prank call to an Australian boy, sparking international outrage. After making an apology down under, Bart mooned a group of Aussies, which angered them. As the Simpsons escaped the country in a helicopter, the scene was extremely similar to a famous photo from the fall of Saigon. In the episode, Lisa the Vegetarian, guest star Paul McCartney said that if you play the song Maybe I'm Amazed backwards, it revealed a recipe for lentil soup. The episode's closing credits were accompanied by said song, and sure enough, if you play it backwards, a faint voice can be heard reciting said recipe. The Homer's Barbershop Quartet episode saw Principal Skinner recognizing an old prison helmet from his days in a Vietnam POW camp. It had the number 24601 on it, which is the prison number tattooed on Jean Valjean in Le...
Hey, does anyone have a charger? We're dying.
Yeah, just sit down here.
I'm dying.
Oh no, I'm dying. I'm dying.
It is. It really, really is.
In the Halloween special, Treehouse of Horror 13, Homer got cloned multiple times by his incredible new hammock. The clone army grew to include many notable alternate versions of the character, including the obese Homer seen in King Size Homer, the Tracy Ullman Show version of Homer, and perhaps most notably, Peter Griffin from Family Guy. In another Halloween special, Treehouse of Horror 6, Homer ventured into a three-dimensional world. At one point, there was a string of hexadecimal numbers located behind him. The numbers were 46, 72, 69, 6E, 6B, 20, 72, 75, 6C, 65, 73, and 21. When they're converted to ASCII, those numbers read Frink Rules, as a reference to Professor Frink. The final Halloween episode Easter egg we're including comes from Treehouse of Horror 28. One segment includes a parody of Coraline, in which Snowball the Fifth speaks for the first time. The voice of Snowball the Fifth was provided by Neil Gaiman, the man who wrote the brilliant 2002 Coraline novel.
For centuries, the cat has been the symbol of intelligence, the other world, savoir-faire. Ooh, shiny!
In the Simpsons movie, after Bart and Homer crossed the Springfield Gorge on a motorcycle, you could clearly see a tree with a white vehicle crashed into it behind them. This was the ambulance that crashed while carrying an injured Homer in the Bart the Daredevil episode of the show. In Dark Knight Court, there was a literal Easter egg in the intro's famous couch gag. The Simpsons family were all on the couch, represented as decorated Easter eggs, apart from Homer, who didn't realize they were there, so he sat on them and crushed them. The Surfsons was a parody of the medieval fantasy genre. While there was obviously no nuclear power plant in this fantasy world, there was still space for some classic mutated three-eyed creatures. In this case, in the form of a dragon on the title screen and a raven in the episode itself, which is also a reference to Game of Thrones.
And now he gets the beast.
In Marge vs. Singles, Seniors, Childless Couples, and Teens, and Gays, the people of Springfield lobbied to deprive the town of all child-friendly things. As Moe turned the R on the Toys R Us sign around, Milhouse could be seen making a face reminiscent of the famous Weeping Frenchman photograph from World War II. In the episode called The Town, there was a scene where the Boston Americans rallied to win a football game against the Springfield Atoms in the dying moments. In a rerun of that episode, the Simpsons crew snuck in and replaced the team names with Atlanta and New England to turn the fictional game into the real-life Super Bowl that had taken place a week before. The Lego episode of The Simpsons, Brick Like Me, was teeming with Lego-based jokes and Easter eggs. One of them was a bunch of books appearing that they were written by Philip K. Brick, a parody of Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
For example, the books included You Brick and A Scanner Blockley, which were parodies of Ubik and A Scanner Darkly, respectively. Both God and Jesus Christ are recurring characters in The Simpsons. In the show, they both have 5 fingers on each hand, but they're the only characters for whom that's the case, as everybody else only has 4.
5 fingers, ooh, freak show.
And that's the end of our but they're the only Scanner Darkly, respectively. Both God and Jesus Christ are recurring characters in The Simpsons. In the show, they both have 5 fingers on each hand, but they're the only characters for whom that's the case, as everybody else only has 4.
5 fingers, ooh, freak show.
And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Can you think of any memorable Simpsons Easter eggs that were easy to miss? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos just like this one. See you later, and don't have a cow, man.
I saw this international story. A guy in Finland got pulled over. He got a speeding ticket for $150,000. Did anyone see this? Because apparently in Finland, they take you according to your salary. And this guy was the CEO of Nokia. Makes you feel better about your shitty cell phones though, right? That guy's paying for it. $150,000. That just makes me want to go to Finland. I would get pulled over and I'd be like, you owe me $80. I can go faster. Keep it coming.
Not drinking tonight. Maybe that's why I should be drinking too. So you guys are all drinking, right? We have designated drivers picked out and stuff? Some people just laughed. Is there a designated driver here? Fuck it, we'll take our chances. It's a big town, LA. There's not a lot of cops. That's what people who come here, my friend are always amazed, like, you can just do anything you want in LA, right? Because there's so many people. I'm like, no, there's cops here, and they're dicks. I got pulled over leaving this club. This is a true story. I got pulled over leaving, it was right before Memorial Day. So what was that, May? So May, I'm leaving the club, and I get pulled over by a cop, and the cop comes up to me. First question a cop always asks you is what? Have you been drinking? So me, being white guy, honest guy, stupid guy, instead of lying, I go, actually, yeah, I had 3 beers down at the Laugh Factory. And the cop goes, oh, are you a comedian? I'm like, yes, I am. He's like, oh, really? This is what he says to me. Really? Are you on coke tonight? You doing blow? I go, is that a stereotype that everyone thinks all his comics are do it? I go, I don't know. Have you had fucking donuts, you fat pig? You know, right? You do stereotypes? So I'm face down on the hood of the car, handcuffed. You know. I thought I was a comedian. Don't you think it was funny? You know. So they handcuff me. He gives me a ticket. This is where I get pissed. Here's what he writes me up for: an aggressive start. That was the fine. Aggressive start. He said that I took off too fast at this light right here at Crescent Heights. Said it was too fast. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Gives me this ticket for $200. I had to send my money. So I'm gonna fight this. Would you not fight this? Send the $200 in. Get a court date. I go down to fight it. Guess what? Cop didn't even show up. They had to throw the ticket out and send me my $200 back. Thank you very much. Yes. Always fight your ticket. So I took the money, went out and bought an 8-ball, and it was amazing. It's all in there. I was like, free Coke, yes! Don't tell me free Coke.
Have you ever been drinking, driving, you start racing with another car, and as you're winning the race, you realize that the other car is a cop? Because I've done that. And the cop was mad. He was like, do you know why I pulled you? And I was like, yes, because I won. He was getting really mad. He was like, you were driving recklessly. And I was like, I was doing pretty good for somebody completely hammered. I knew I was going to go to jail, so why not have a little fun? He started looking for drugs inside my car. I was like, sir, there's no drugs in my car. Everything is in my rectum. You're clearly searching the wrong cushion, sir. I got arrested. Now, I don't know if you know the DUI test. I know a lot of you do. I have this passion in life to get really hammered at home and practice those tests. So I was ready. First, you got to walk on a line. So I was like, okay, 20 steps. 1, 2, 3, 20. And then the cop went backwards. And I was like, backwards? That's not how I practiced at home. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you gotta follow the light. You guys know that too. And the cop was like this. And I was like this. Then he went like this. And I was like this. And then he went like that. And I was like, have you been drinking? Confusing all those laws in America, because in America you can have a gun at 16, but yet you cannot drink until you're 21. Which doesn't make sense, because if you just shoot someone, don't you want to celebrate with a nice Merlot?
With a nice Merlot.
One night I went to go get Pinkberry, and you guys have gathered anything from me. It's like, I'm not going to eat my Pinkberry in the store because of germs. And I'm not going to eat it in my extremely neat car. So I needed to get home and quickly. So I'm stopped at a light, and all of a sudden I hear whoop, whoop. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it. Go around me. Go around. So I look in my mirror, and they're still there. So the next thing I know, oh my God, the cop car spoke. They have megaphones attached. I learned this that night. It said, pull over. And I was like, but why? I'm perfect. So I do pull over, and the cop car speaks again. They're like, roll down all your windows. And I was like, it's cold out. I'm just going to do one. So by the time I get to my car, they are heated. They're like, do you know you're going 45 in a 35 zone? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just tore my Pinkberry mouth. But thank you for your concern. Do you know, I actually did get out of that ticket. The cop thought my answer was so absurd. They're like, you have a good night. So, that is a true story.
I get pulled over a lot. I got a speeding ticket recently in the mountains. True story. This cop's like, son, do you know how fast you're going? I was like, yeah, as fast as possible. You know, I swear to God, I had a whole setup that I wanted to I had an argument. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I saw a sign back there that said, falling rock zone. So I'm getting the out. Cop's like, no, son, you gotta slow down in the falling rock zone. I'm like, sir, I've done the math. All right? The slower I go, the higher the probability I die in a Donkey Kong related accident. I don't like fighting with cops. I'm friends with some cops. Like, they don't want to fight with you, but I love giving a good argument. Like, there's some good arguments out there. Like, I got a cell phone ticket, right? Cop pulls me over, talking on a cell phone and driving. I'm like, why is that illegal? He's like, got to operate a vehicle with 2 hands. I'm like, is it illegal to be a one-armed person? Swear to God. He was like, no. I'm like, you don't pull over one-armed people, do you? It's illegal, isn't it? I'm like, then pretend I'm one-armed. I have my legal arm. And then this is a bonus arm. Holy shit, I have my bonus arm right here. And then I choose the bonus arm to hold a phone with, because this isn't legally necessary. I'm just going to hold a phone with it. He's like, yeah, but you're talking into something. I'm like, what if I was talking to a banana? He's like, the bonus arm? I'm like, yeah, bonus arm with the banana. Would you pull me over? He's like, of course not. I'm like, okay, then yeah, now legally you have to prove that the object in my hand has reception. I have an iPhone, that's going to be difficult, because I'm going to court on this thing. He's like, step out of the vehicle. I'm like, I had drugs in my pocket. Not the smartest time to stage a debate. Weed.
Traffic court continues over here. Did you guys ever go to traffic court? I love it. One of my favorite things to do. I fight every single ticket I get. I don't have anything to do in the daytime. And you learn a lot when you go to traffic court. You do. Biggest thing I learned is the ethnic people. Sometimes we go because we cannot afford the ticket. That's why an ethnic person is typically in traffic court. Right? I don't care how many ethnic people there are, there's always one white dude. And he's there because he wants justice. He has money for the ticket, and he comes with a case, bro. He watches Law and Order. He's got pictures, receipts. We just come with a yellow sheet of paper and a hope and a prayer that the cop doesn't show up. Even if you're blind, you know who the white guy is. If you're blind, you'll know who the white guy is. White dude never knows how to use the podium mic. Never. Oh, Your Honor. What? Get your lips off the mic! Latinos, you're there, you got your own section. Mexicans, they have their own section. There's like an ESL class going on. They have no idea what the translator has. No, I don't know, I think the judge is guilty. The judge is guilty. What the hell are you saying? What are you doing? Brothers don't care. If you want to have fun, go watch a black dude in traffic court. They don't give a fuck. Last time I was there, I saw a brother there with a ticket from 1998. How the hell you get that extended so long? And you know this, there's only 3 things you can say when you go to the podium. Guilty, not guilty, no contest. That's it. Brother walked up to the mic, looked the judge dead in the eye. I'm not making this shit up. Nah. We good, motherfucker. This dude pleaded, nah, we good. Pandemonium in the Mexican Center. They had no idea what the hell just happened. The next Latino dude that came to the podium, one of the cutest things I've ever seen. He was getting coached. He was called Nada de good. Por eso ¿cómo se dice manejando? I was driving for the I was done go for this way, yeah. And then I hear the whoo! So I put it for the side. I go for the side. And I'm waiting, but the guy not coming. Why you putting the whoo? And you're not coming for what? So I waited, yeah, waiting. And then I just go. That's when I hit the guy. a gown. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what's going on. Dude, I'm making fun of other races. That was a 5-minute light, right? That was a 5-minute light. I'm making fun of other races, but if you ever, I don't know, what's your name, dude? Phil, if you ever go to traffic court and you see one of these guys, the Iranian guy, just fucking leave. You're dead. They will talk about, they're just there to make you kill. Good evening, Your Honor. Good afternoon, good morning. You're looking great today. Very much, I was on time, I came on the American citizen. I was here, I came into the anyway, Your Honor, and I was driving in my BMW 7 Series. All leather, very nice. Fully loaded package, have a panorama. The roof have a panorama. Or put in reverse, you have a camera watching the behind, everything. Anyway, I was driving this very expensive car all the way. Very smooth. Just going very smooth. And then the guy, I didn't see the guy, he was fighting or something like that. Something illegally. I know something illegally. Then my guy coming behind me, okay. So fast the guy coming behind me, and I pull over. And then she coming to my window with such an attitude.